Okay, so we're gonna need a pastry bag. A tip, I use the number 4. It's just thin enough that for outlining, but you can also use it for flooding. I don't know if you can see that, it's number 4. And you're gonna need some scissors. So what I do is I cut the tip of the bag, and inside I put the tip in. So you don't want to cut too much. You do want to throw that little piece away. You don't want it to get into anything that you're making. We're going to open up our pastry bag. We're going to put that in the middle. You can use a coupler, which means that the inside of the white part goes inside the bag and then the tip goes on the outside and then it's screwed on. That helps you change the tips, but we're not going to do that today. We are going to make sure the bag can go over our non-dominant hand, so mine is left. And then using our right hand, we're going to scoop our royal icing into our bag. I do push down into the tip so it doesn't come straight out. I forgot to do it in this method, but you'll see me do it later. And yeah, you'll see I kind of tried, but once it's already in, it doesn't make any sense. So we're going to fill up our pastry bag, and then we're going to bring it to our workstation. I am going to sit down to frost the rest of our cookies. It's more relaxing, in my opinion. You can stand. I just find it a lot easier to sit and work. It's one of those things you can do sitting. And now we're going to prep our station, which I am bringing over some cookies. I'm bringing over our tray. And we are going to outline and then fill. Again, you're still going to need your toothpicks or your scribe. Alright, so here we are. I grabbed a couple of cookies, and now what you want to do is you want to outline to your best, and you're going to, you can see it's coming out a little bit, that's okay. And we're going to outline around. You want to try to keep it as straight and steady as possible, and then you're going to slowly fill it. My pressure is all where I'm holding it closed, and that's just where it's coming from. If I'm going to use my left hand, as you can see, I'm not using it right now, I am going to just guide my hand. Matthew likes to do that. When you get used to it, you don't need it. You tend to use one hand. So I am just circling in with the very tip of my tip. This works just as well as using a toothpick, but I do go back over it with a toothpick just to make sure that all of our bubbles are out so it's an even way. So again, we're just going to slowly guide, and then we're going to fill. and this is the last of the cookies I'm showing you for this method. It does work really well. I will be doing more of these in different colors, but it's the same idea. You outline and then you fill in just that area, and then you do the next color. The next method I will show you is wet on wet. Okay, so first I want to show you how to do color some royal icing. I am using America Color Gel. You just need a dot. I did scoop a bunch of royal icing into the bowl, and because I don't want to mix the entire bowl of royal icing, I'm just doing a small batch. And just like I prepped the white royal icing with the pastry bag, I'm going to do the same for the blue, and I'm just going to scoop it in there just like we did. So you're just going to divide a little bit to the side. Now what we're going to do is scoop it in, and we're going to go over to our table, and we're going to work on wet on wet process. It is a very specific technique, and basically while your royal icing is wet, you're going to add that second color in with your designs, and it'll make sure that the icing is flat with your design instead of poofed up. Okay, so here we go. We have our cookies, we have our blue icing. I'm going to take this white one and I'm going to add some blue inside it. So you can see it's still wet, but that's what we want. And I'm going to take my blue and I'm just going to create dots. This one's going to be really, really simple. You don't need a lot. I'm just doing random dots. There's no specific design behind this. And just like I showed you before with the toothpick, you're going to want to circle out those bubbles in those. I did use a new toothpick just for that color, just so I didn't divide it with different colors. And we're going to set that side to dry. And you can add more, you can add less. And it's really that simple. I'm going to do it a few more times on different ones. So here I had that snow globe. I'm just clearing off the side because it dripped over a little bit, which is fine, it happens. Like I said, you need to make sure your outline is thicker. And I'm going to do a few dots, again, kind of like a snowflake type. And then I'm just going to do the bottom. And then just like before, I'm going to use the toothpick and I'm going to work it out and get those bubbles out. And you can do this with any color. You can do this with multiple colors, different designs, whatever works best for you. just keep on practicing, and this will help you with that simple flat design.
Looked up what we discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Too big. Plus, you have to buy those paper towels that are already.
Okay.
It's pretty.
Thanks. That's too big.
Hi, honey.
Yeah. Don't touch any.
No, I was.
Okay, so now we're going to do painting. You're going to need a little palette, some brushes, some food coloring, and either vodka or lemon extract. I prefer the vodka. It does dry, and don't worry, your child will be fine. It does evaporate. And you will need your iced cookies that are dry. And we are going to paint. So you just need one dot, and then I do a little bit of food coloring, and I do brush it to the side. You don't want too much vodka. It takes longer to dry, but that's just what happens. Okay, so I'm just preparing our palette. I'm going to do a quick design on this round cookie. I'm going to do some Christmas lights. And I do have multiple brushes, different sizing, just so that you guys can see. And you can see Matthew was decorating cookies on the side. So those are his designs. That's generally what a child's will look like, and that is fine. It does take practice. This is his work at 7.5. He did actually a great job compared to when he was a lot younger. The more you practice, the better you get. And you just need a little bit of vodka, not too much. I actually poured a lot in. Just brush it to the side, and then I start painting. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with black and start with my basic outline. I decided to change it last moment, so you'll see me work on that. I'm like, nope, that doesn't look good. So we're gonna make that a little thicker, not a big deal. You still have your paint or your food gel really on the side within reach. It's always a good idea to have a paper towel, especially when you get started. You can wipe down your work if you need to, or your brushes. And you're just going to pick whatever design you want. And I am doing a Christmas light pattern, and I'm just going to switch off brushes to do work. You're just going to have fun. You can paint the whole cookie, or you can paint parts of it. You can let parts of it dry, then paint over it. That's always a good idea, so you don't let your colors bleed while they're wet. And we're just going to go one by one with the different colors and switch off and create this pattern. So now I'm going to add some details on these two cookies in black. The way the snowman is with the scarf, that is a wet on dry, so the cookie had officially dried. I had added sprinkles while it was still wet, and then I added the scarf, and now I'm going to paint on the hat. But first I want to do the little snowman on my snow globe, add some details, add a little hat. This again, that little snowman there was a wet on dry method, and we're just going to paint over it. I add a little pipe, little hands, and then I'm going to add a little decor on the bottom, and then I'm going to add a hat and hands on the snowman to the left. Now to the right. I guess it would be to the right. And it's the same gel and vodka that I was using for the other. Your cookies will need to have dried before you even attempt this, otherwise the royal icing will come off. And that is it. It's a lot easier than it looks, depending on your design. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys practice more. Bye!